Mario Kart World is a fresh new start for the Mario Kart series. Taking all the tracks and connecting them all in a massive open world was a brilliant idea. You might assume that needing all tracks to fit in a map could sacrifice their quality, but that simply isn't true. The courses in this game have some of the highest highs in the series, and in this video I will be ranking every track in Mario Kart World. Before we begin, the track ranking will be based on the version you play in the time trials, as I feel it gives you a chance to get to know each track fully. Also, there will be no intermissions as there are too many to rank and they would all be at the bottom. With all that out of the way, let's begin. You know, I usually try and appreciate the underrated. Unfortunately, I cannot with this hollow husk of a track. This track debuted in Mario Kart DS and was very mid. They remade it in Mario Kart Wii, adding some Mario Bros. 3 elements to spice it up, but it was still bad. Fast forward to this game and it's trash. They removed the small amount of character the course had, and the only thing going for it are the statues from Mario Land, which is bad. What makes me hate this course is the fact that they had dry ruins sitting right there. They could have done cool stuff with the temple, adding new sections for wall riding and whatnot, but no. They remake this broke boy course that no one likes. Also, I don't like sand. Who loves circle courses that do nothing cool whatsoever? Me! Yeah, Koopa Troopa Beach is just a circle and it's not even chaotic like Baby Park. This course came from Super Mario Kart, and I do like the retheming a little bit as it's a beach party instead of your average beach, but that doesn't save this track. One neat detail is how this course has 5 laps like it did in Super Mario Kart. At the end of the day, it's a flat, boring circle that's not fun to race on. With the Whistlestop Summit, I don't have much to say. This course kind of acts like a rail tutorial, and that's most of this course. And I'm not even good at the new tricks in this game yet, so it makes it hard to appreciate the courses fully based on these gimmicks. The layout is decent as it feels like it could have been an 8, but it's nothing too crazy. They got this train that thinks it's tough, but no! You don't make sense, look at those angles! Wario Shipyard, what have they done to you? They took out the main part of this course, the underwater. This makes sense as they canned it for Mario Kart World, but why would you bring back a course that focuses on what you cut out? I might be young boy, cause that make no sense. Besides that, it still has a similar layout, but I just don't really enjoy this course. I miss what this gem used to be. Now it's washed. Nintendo loves Moo Moo Meadows, man. I honestly would have brought back Moo Moo Farm, as it hasn't been remade since Mario Kart DS. Still, this pick makes sense since the cow is a playable character, and many just love this course, but we just had this course in Wii and 8, so it's old news. Like the hole in the ozone layer. I don't like how wide they made this track to accommodate the 24 player count either, it feels boring. The graphics in this game are very nice, but Moo Moo Meadows in 8 looks miles above this quote-unquote track. As an intro course, Mario Bros. Circuit is pretty good. However, since it is the first track, it's very simple. The course is a decent tutorial for the new tech introduced, but that's really it. I mean, they stole radiator springs from cars and thought we'd be okay with no Mater in the game. Forget the insane price tag of this game. I'm boycotting Nintendo until Mater gets in this game. Also, this is a better desert track than Desert Hills, so it already gets more points just for that. I feel like Faraway Oasis has more sins than Whistlestop Summit, but I just like it more. I can't really explain why. The theming is cool as you go through an animal oasis with Johns like zebras, elephants, and giraffes. Theming aside, this course is forgettable, and when I do play it, I think of Savannah Citadel from Sonic Unleashed. Good job, Nintendo, you're making me think of Sonic, a former competitor. What are we doing, man? Decade Pass from Mario Kart DS makes its return in this game, and it's the same course. This was already a decent course, so upgrading the graphics and adding some lodge buildings make it pretty decent in this game as well. The theme is cozy, and the skating Shy Guys at the end are sick as hell, dude. I want to be like them someday. What's crazy is Wario Stadium in Mario Kart 64 is one of the worst courses, and just so happened to be the only course not remade from it up until now. Mario Kart's World rendition of the course was able to make it look decent. This is a godsend compared to 64. They get rid of the weird Wario heads and add tons of tricking with jumps and walls to ride on. One of the best parts of this track are the pipes shooting fire when you shoot through the air. I feel like I'm him when I'm flying through it. Nintendo finally made up for their sins in Bone Dry Dunes with the Dry Bones Burnout. A fire course based on Dry Bones just makes sense, and it's crazy it took until this game to do that. I like the giant skull and the paint on all the bones. That makes this track cool to look at. The alternate paths are decent, and this course just be fun to drive on. Dandelion Depths is based on the Wooded Kingdom from Mario Odyssey, which I'm a big fan of. They do this through mixing the industrial red beams with nature and it looks great. That's only half the course though. You go underground and race on water, and this game just looks beautiful. The only reason I say this is B tier is because the track layout is pretty simple and it's alright to race on. Ground City feels like Nintendo took what they learned from the Billion City courses in Tour and made this course out of the good stuff. It's fun driving by the beach, weaving through alleys, and climbing the skyscrapers. This city is kind of basic, but the fact you get to explore multiple different sections make this course more fun. This is one of 2 courses that have 2 variants in the Grand Prix, which is kind of disappointing, but Crown City is so big that, it makes sense. Salty Salty Speedway is a Venice-inspired course where you go through a city with roads made of water. It's fun weaving between land and water with cool paths and decent trick potential. It's funny that you can pull up on boating toads and just jump over them. Like, imagine if someone did that to you. I would crash out like Boogie 2988 for real. Man, nature is pretty cool and Acorn Heights just be a lot of nature. It's mad fun going down a big tree and tricking through the leaves, vines, and mushrooms. This course is neat, but it gets boring pretty quick. The theming is cool, but they have done better in previous games, mostly Wildwoods and Mario Kart 8. But I still mess with it, this course is pretty chill. Let's go! They finally brought back the Go Toad's Factory. This is one of my favorite courses from Mario Kart Wii, as the theming is freaking elite. A factory you drive through and get to see the item boxes being produced. It provides good world building, pun not intended. It is a really faithful remake where the only real changes are the graphics and the added upper paths that I haven't even figured out how to get to yet. This track is pretty good and I love the music. I'm glad Nintendo locked in and brought it back. As a filthy Mario Galaxy enjoyer, I love Starview Peak. Seeing it themed after the Comet Observatory is a cool reference to the game. You drive through these split paths of yellow and green. Wait a minute, this is just Ice Outpost. What the hell, Nintendo? Why you do this? Jokes aside, it's fun to weave between these, and there's also a water section that I think looks really cool, and they spice it up by adding boost rings, so it doesn't feel too slow. Good course, Nintendo. Peach Stadium's track design makes me think Nintendo was off one. The roads climb to the sky, and it legit feels like it could have been in Mario Kart 8 as a base course. This course should have replaced the Mario Circuit in 8, to be honest. I like how the turns are really tight, boss, and it's just fun to drive through. This is the second course that has 2 versions in the Grand Prix, and this one makes no sense. Why is it here twice? This track isn't even big enough to justify that in my opinion. Despite that one flaw, I think this track is great. When I first heard Mario Circuit was returning, I was like, no! However, seeing what they did in this game, I was blown away. They took the first 3 Mario Circuits from Super Mario Kart and combined them into one track. This takes basic been there done that courses and makes them elite. I was also surprised at how narrow the roads were considering this game has 24 freaking racers. They keep the retro parts while adding these pit stop places to connect the tracks, and overall I was surprised about how much I enjoyed this course. Man, is DK's Spaceport a cool track. This one is a reference to the original Donkey Kong arcade game, but a Spaceport theming was added to it. Seeing a giant robot Donkey Kong at the beginning sets up big expectations, and man did they deliver. Each girder you drive on has different things to do, whether it's walls or grind rails, or the final one being a race to the end while Robot Donkey Kong is spamming barrels at you. This is sick. Airship Fortress is a fan favorite track, and many were disappointed when it wasn't added to the Booster Course Pass, but looking back, I'm glad they didn't. They took the track and made a war theme. This place legit looks like a war zone with the bonsai bills, dark color schemes, graffiti, and just the overall vibe. It feels like a war zone. This place feels dangerous. The course was already elite with Mario Bros. 3 airship theming, but they expanded it for real. Guy Bazaar justifies my beef with Desert Hills as this is a great desert course. Driving through a Middle East inspired bazaar is just really cool. You drive by and over different stalls and that's cool as hell. You also go outside the town, loop around and go to the entrance, and it's just cool seeing all the desert outside of it. Overall, this course was a great retro track choice. Mario Kart 7 just had great track selection in general. Coming from Mario Kart Double Dash, Peach Beach was a great beach course, but oh boy does Nintendo cook with this remake. The first lap is just the normal course, which was great by itself, then it goes crazy. They add a whole new town section where you go up a hill and then glide down these tall buildings, and they all look great. Then you go through water to arrive where you began. With the new sections, this might as well be a new track, and that's what all retro tracks should strive to be. Cheep Falls is one of my favorite new courses in this game. The theme being an old Japanese aesthetic is very pretty to look at. This course is mostly a rushing river and man is this fun to drive through. They add rocks and grind rails and different currents, and they all add up to make this a fun water section. Also, just having Cheep Cheeps is cool as they match the color scheme because they're red. Overall, this is a great track. Sky High Sundae came from Mario Kart Tour, and this remake makes it feel like it was meant for this game. When it was released on the Booster Course Pass, it was weird because it had too much anti-gravity, and the rails were just these boost dinghies. In this game, the course just feels right. The random rails now actually have a purpose, as you can grind on them. The course also just looks a lot better as the art style fits it a lot better. Overall, this place just looks cool. This course isn't even Choco Mountain anymore. They rethemed it to look like a motorbike race course with charging chucks running around. They got rid of the poo-poo looking mountain and made it feel like a new course. They still brought back the falling boulders on the hill, which was the highlight for Choco Mountain. It did lose its original vibe, but that's okay. I like this one more. This game's rendition of Bowser's Castle just might be the best version ever. You have the normal castle part that feels like every other version, but then you get shot in the air and go on these paths that give you infinite boost. You then go from platform to platform with a giant Bowser looming over you the whole time. Crashing down these platforms over a volcano just feels so epic. Like, bruh, doing this in real life would be insane. Most of the time, the haunted tracks have similar theming. You're either on docks or in a spooky manor. In this game, Boo Cinema is the spooky course and man is this cool. You explore a theater and eventually go inside a black and white horror film where you drive on the film itself, and it looks really cool. The art style matches the theme, and it's the most unique part of this game in my opinion. They took a tired theme and revitalized it. Why is this an S tier? Dinosaurs. That's why. They took Dino Dino Jungle from Mario Kart Double Dash and rethemed it to be a lab that's holding dinosaurs. Basically, this course is now Jurassic Park, which is rad. Eventually, the T-Rex starts tweaking and running around, and it actually feels suspenseful. I would not want to mess with bro, look at his teeth. Julian's walking. Who is your favorite Mario character? Well, whoever came up with this idea really loves the question blocks. Making them the focus of this course was a weird but great choice. They took a Mario staple and made it into ancient ruins, and this is cool. You go in the air and race around the ruins that are full of alternate paths and grind rails. For random ass theming, they really went hard on this track. You already knew this was gonna happen. Rainbow Road was the secret course in this game, and man is it peak. You get shot up into space and begin your standard Rainbow Road with split paths and crazy turns that risk you falling down. Then you get shot to a blue water area, and this place is so beautiful, man. Blue is a fire color after all. Then you go on a blue Rainbow Road that gives you the infinite speed boost like Bowser's Castle. And then you quickly get shot to a space station that reminds me of Fleet Glide Galaxy from Mario Galaxy 2, which is the best game ever. But then you go inside the space station where there is a ton of thwomps and many turns. You still have the speed boost, so it feels insane. This course finishes on the normal Rainbow Road where you then glide to the finish. This course is just a journey through space and it's amazing. This is the best section track ever made, and it may be the best track ever made. This is peak. Anyways, that's my ranking of every track in Mario Kart World. Are you a Desert Hills enjoyer and hate me for the slander I put this track through? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this, consider dropping a like and subscribing as I make more videos like this. Anyways, I'm gonna go back to racing around in Mario Kart World, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.